Have you ever felt that burning pain in your chest when you realize that nobody sees you? When your achievements go unnoticed? When your struggles are invisible? When it feels like you're screaming into the void and the world simply ignores you? If you're watching this video right now, it's because that pain is real in your life. And I have a truth to tell you that's going to change everything. The world doesn't ignore you by accident. It ignores you because you represent something that most people can't bear to look at. You represent the possibility of evolution that they rejected. You represent the path they didn't have the courage to walk. And when the world ignores you, when people pretend you don't exist, when your family, your friends, your co-workers act like your achievements are irrelevant, know this one thing: God is watching everything. There's a brutal difference between two categories of people in this world: those who react and those who respond. Those who react chase after attention, get desperate when they're ignored, beg for recognition like emotional beggars. They make noise, create drama, force situations just to be noticed. But there's a superior category of people, those who respond. And responding doesn't mean screaming louder. Responding means understanding that the world's indifference is just a test. Napoleon Hill, the man who decoded the secrets of millionaires, said something that changed my life forever. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. When the world ignores you, it's not punishing you. It's preparing you. Every time you're left out, every time your achievements are minimized, every time you feel like you're talking to walls, something much deeper is happening. God is forging you in the fire of invisibility. He's teaching you that true strength doesn't come from external recognition. True strength comes from the ability to keep building even when nobody's applauding. And you know why this is so powerful? Because when you learn to validate your own achievements, when you develop the ability to take pride in your progress without needing others' approval, you become indestructible. The pain of being ignored doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to forge you. Every moment of loneliness you feel isn't punishment. It's a medal of honor. It's proof that you're on a different level. People only ignore what makes them uncomfortable. And you make them uncomfortable because you represent everything they could have been if they hadn't given up at the first obstacle. Think about it. How many times have you seen mediocre people getting all the spotlight while you, who sacrifice yourself, who work in silence, who build something real, remain invisible? This isn't injustice. This is divine strategy. God is protecting you from the energy vampires who drain the strength of those in the limelight. He's giving you the gift of pure focus. While others are wasting energy trying to impress empty audiences, you're building solid foundations. While they're screaming for attention, you're whispering commands to the universe. And the universe, just like God, prefers whispers to screams, prefers consistency to spectacle, prefers substance to superficiality. There's a truth that few understand. You're closer to your victory than you imagine. Much closer. The feeling of being ignored that you feel now, it's the last obstacle before the breakthrough. It's like you're digging a tunnel in total darkness, and when you're about to come out the other side, when you're inches from the light, the darkness seems more intense than ever. Giving up now would be the biggest mistake of your life. You're not the same person who started this journey. Look back and see how much you've changed. The pains that used to break you now only bend you. The criticism that used to paralyze you now only informs you about who doesn't deserve to be on your journey. The silence that used to make you desperate now teaches you to listen to your own inner voice. You're part of an invisible minority, people who transform the world's indifference into fuel for their evolution. Most people don't understand that when someone ignores you, when someone minimizes your achievements, when someone acts like you don't exist, they're not reacting to what you do wrong. They're reacting to what you represent that's right. They don't attack you for your failures. They ignore you for your successes, because your successes mirror their giving up. Your silent victories expose their noisy defeats. The enemy isn't the people who ignore you. The enemy is the voice in your head that says you need their approval to be valid. The enemy is the belief that your worth depends on how many people clap for you. The enemy is the illusion that external recognition is more important than internal achievement. When you understand this, when you really absorb this truth, something magical happens. You stop begging for attention and start attracting respect. You stop explaining your value and start demonstrating it. You stop shouting your achievements and let them speak for themselves. And you know what happens. The same people who ignored you start watching you. But here's the paradox. When they finally pay attention, you no longer need it. You've already developed the ability to move independently of others' opinions. You've become magnetically independent. And this magnetic independence is irresistible. That's when God starts moving people and situations in your direction. There's a difference between those who make noise and those who make a difference. The noisy ones want a stage, want spotlights, want everyone to know what they're doing. But the quiet ones are building empires, while the noisy ones build houses of cards. The quiet ones aren't shy. They're strategic. They're not insecure. They're selective. They're not weak. They're patient. Silence isn't the absence of strength. Silence is strength in its most concentrated form. When you learn to work in silence, when you develop the ability to build without having to announce every brick you place, you access a power that most people will never know. The power of invisible construction. The power of secret progress. The power of silent evolution. And that's why God prefers to work with people who have been ignored. Because they've learned to value the process more than the applause. They've learned that true victory isn't in being seen, but in seeing yourself progressing. They've developed emotional muscles that only develop in the gym of invisibility. I won't lie to you. Sometimes you'll cry. Sometimes you'll feel tired. Sometimes you'll question if it's worth continuing when it seems like nobody cares. And you know what? That's human. That's normal. That's even necessary. Because it's in those tears that you wash away illusions. It's in that tiredness that you rest to continue stronger. It's in those doubts that you find your deepest convictions. Vulnerability isn't the enemy of strength. Vulnerability is the raw material of strength. When you accept that sometimes you'll feel invisible, when you stop fighting against this feeling and learn to dance with it, you discover that invisibility can be your superpower. Because when you can't be seen, you can go anywhere. When you're not on anyone's radar, you can build without interference. When you're not in anyone's expectations, you can surprise everyone. Napoleon Hill also said that thoughts are things. And when you transform the thought of being ignored into the thought of being prepared, when you change the narrative from "nobody sees me" to "God sees me," your entire reality changes. Your actions change. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. And when your energy changes, the world around you is forced to change too. The world's ignorance about you isn't a verdict on your worth. It's a comment on their limited capacity to recognize excellence in formation. They can only see ready-made excellence, packaged with a bow and certificate of authenticity. But you're in the process of becoming excellent. And the process is always invisible to those who don't have trained eyes. God has trained eyes. He sees what you're building when even you can't see clearly. He sees character being forged in the early morning hours of silent work. He sees discipline being built in moments when nobody's looking. He sees resistance being developed in situations that nobody values. And when he judges that you're ready, when he decides it's time, there won't be a force in the world capable of keeping you invisible. God's timing is perfect. He's never late and never early. He acts at the exact moment when your preparation meets opportunity. And until that moment comes, every day of invisibility is a day of preparation. Every moment of being ignored is a moment of being polished. Every situation where you feel undervalued is a situation where your true value is being tested and approved. The people who ignore you today are the same ones who tomorrow will try to understand how you got where you got. They'll look for secrets, magic formulas, shortcuts that explain your transformation. And you'll smile knowing that the only secret was continuing when they stopped. The only magic formula was working when they rested. The only shortcut was the long road you traveled in silence. When you understand that the world's indifference is just the universe giving you space to grow without interference, everything changes. When you realize that not being seen is a blessing disguised as a curse, you stop resenting and start being grateful. When you accept that your journey is solitary by design, not by accident, you find company in your own strength. You don't need to scream to be heard. You need to build to be respected. You don't need to explain yourself to be understood. You need to demonstrate yourself to be recognized. You don't need to beg for attention to be valued. You need to create value to be sought after. And when that day comes, when the lights turn on over you, when the world finally sees what you built in the darkness, you'll understand that every moment of invisibility was worth it. Because you didn't just conquer what you wanted. You became who you needed to become to deserve what you conquered. The world can keep ignoring you. People can keep pretending you don't exist. Your family can keep minimizing your achievements. Your friends can keep not valuing your growth. But that doesn't matter anymore. Because you discovered something that few discover. The approval you really need is from God and from yourself. So today, right now, in this moment, I want you to make a declaration. Not to me, not to the world, not to anyone other than yourself and God. Declare that you choose to be unshakable. Declare that you choose to see your invisibility as preparation. Declare that you choose to transform the world's indifference into fuel for your determination. I choose to be unshakable. I choose to trust God's timing. I choose to build in silence and let my success make the noise. I'm not ignored. I'm being prepared. And when my time comes, there won't be a force in the universe capable of stopping me.